Okay, welcome everyone to A Queens Roundtable show, which happens every second and fourth Sunday of the month. Usually we do it at 3 p.m., but today we're doing it at, what time is it now? 4:54. So thank you so much for being patient with us, and you are going to really enjoy this. And y'all have to forgive me. I know it sounds like I'm losing my voice. I'm just getting over a cold. The whole family was sick. My voice may kind of go in and out. But thank you so much for joining us, those of you that may be joining us live. Some of you may be catching the replay, but we want to know what you think, how you feel. We want your comments, okay? We want you to show us some love, and we want this to be as interactive as possible. So without further ado, my name is Jacqueline Cabot Harrison. I am the host of A Queens Roundtable Show. And the purpose of this show is to bring on a different entrepreneur. And we just talk openly and honestly about the trials and the tribulations that they've experienced in their personal life as well as their professional life, and basically how it brings them to where they are today. Okay? So, and then we end off with the guests sharing different tools and techniques to help you level up your business. Okay? To help you take your business to the next level. So if you do not have a pen and a pad, take a minute and go ahead and get one. Okay? All right, so without further ado, I'm going to let my guest introduce herself, and she's also going to tell you who she serves and how she serves them.
Hi, everybody. Happy February. Happy Black History Month. My God. First and foremost, thank you so much, Jackie, for having me on this wonderful show. My sister, my co-author, and my friend. I appreciate you so much. First of all, my name is Pastor Patricia Johnson. A lot of people know me as Coach P. Jackie said to share a little bit about who I am. Well, who is Patricia Johnson? Patricia Johnson is a servant of the underdog, but mainly she's a servant of God. I have been a pastor for the last 10 years. God has truly been good to me. There has been some ups and downs, some ins, some outs, creating this person you see today. Along the way, there has been a lot of bumps and bruises, and I am so grateful to God that He has saw me through. I am on this platform today to talk to you about what do Coach P do? Well, what Coach P does is that she helps reignite the visions and the passions that the cares of life has come along and just snuffed out. And I'm talking about those things that you dreamed about doing, those things that you were created to do and meant to do. But somehow along the way, life came along and just wiped it all away. It was like right there written all in the sand, and then the curves of the world, the water just came up and just washed it all away. I'm here to help you dig back down, deep down inside of yourself, and pull all of that back out. I'm helping you dig through all the muck, the mire, the unforgiveness, the shame, the pain, the hurt, the things that life has thrown at you, the unexpected pop-ups in your life that comes along. So that is what reigniting the vision is all about. Pastor Patricia is an entity in a 501(c) company that has a lot of ins and outs. I'm a manager, I'm a pastor, I'm a life coach, I'm an author, I'm a co-author, I'm a friend, I'm a foe to some. You know, if you don't have any haters, you ain't really doing too much. You gotta have some haters. So along my way, my Judases have helped me get here. And I'll share more about that as me and Jackie begin to talk about how I got to this journey, because I have had a lot of pain in getting to where I am today. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm a long way from where I used to be. So Pastor P is everything that she could possibly be. I don't believe in putting a period. I don't believe I can define myself. I let God tell me when, where, and how, and what to do. And I allow myself to just create, recreate, stop, go, jerk pause at anything that I'm supposed to do. There's some projects that I've set aside to help some people right now, and there are some projects that I'm picking up that I started a long time ago. So I'm just a person being guided and guarded by God right now, and allowing my Savior to just lead me on to wherever I am. I'm getting older now, and I need to go ahead and fulfill my vision. But my vision is your vision, and my vision is helping pull out your vision so that we together can create and recreate and reignite the visions in both of us. So that's who Coach P. If you ask me who I am, I'm every woman that I can be. Whatever God has given me to do and be, that's me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so glad to have you here, Coach P, to share your wisdom and your knowledge and inspire us, through talking, openly about some of the different things that you've been through, because a lot of times, excuse me, a lot of times, with this whole world of social media, right? Everybody just sees like they see a successful entrepreneur, and they just think that it just happened overnight. That it just happened overnight. They didn't go through their own trials and tribulations, and for everybody it's different,
Yes.
and so I think it's important to kind of really shed light on that, and I think when other people hear our stories, that they are able to gain inspiration from that, and
Ooh,
not
yeah.
and get the major message, which is don't give up.
Never.
Sometimes we be grinding and grinding, and we maybe have setbacks in our life, or maybe we feel like, oh dang, I'm not getting no viewers, a lot of people are not showing up and giving me love, blah 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 blah, and they feel like they just want to quit. So that was a big motivation of mine, in terms of wanting to put this platform together, to bring us together, to encourage each other and inspire and support each other, and to network, because at the end, or yeah, towards the end, I'm going to get your web address, or the best way that people can reach out to you, so that way, if you guys want to link up, you know work with Coach P, you can just click on, you'll be right there, you can just click
Yeah.
on the link. Okay, so don't let me forget that piece.
Yes, ma'am.
So so share with us, I know you might have talked just a little bit about it, but share with us, what's your why behind what you do now?
Well, to be honestly, my why is it's just in the air I breathe, Jackie. I don't know how I got here. Coming from Brooklyn, New York in 1989, I had no inspiration, no hope. I was running from a lot of demons. I was running from a lot of my past. And my mom had left in 1987. I called myself coming to Illinois, Alton, Illinois, which is about maybe 30 minutes away from St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I reside right now. And I remember thinking to myself that I had to get a better life. This could not be who I am. And I know I'm speaking to somebody out there, because there's somebody sitting right where, or will catch this later on and know that this is not their life. This just could not be the end of life. And I remember sitting there wondering why I never had, uh, why I never really felt wanted, needed, and appreciated, or why I never felt like I knew my purpose in life. And I just seen people seemingly to be so happy, so anointed, so flowing. I never had I'm a woman that never had grandparents on neither side, mother or father. I'm one that had older sisters, but never really had a big sister figure in my life, because they were so much older and had children almost my age. So we never really bonded as big sister, little sister. And because of that, I end up finding my love in the streets. And my love stayed in the streets for almost leave it to my daughter. She says about 5 or 6 years. I don't know. My daughter told me how long I was in the streets, because to tell you the truth, I had been out there and it felt like forever. And the truth of the matter is it might have been about 5 years. She said it was about 3 or 4. I say at least 5. I remember around the time my daughter started going to school in full time, you know, it always starts off with, for us that have ever tried drugs or done drugs or any parts of any type of addiction, any part, it starts real small. And I remember just trying things to escape.
Okay.
And escape reality and escape my reason for living, and wanting to get up and be high and go to bed high and wake up high. I never really wanted to deal with what happened to me and what things happened to me, not what was wrong with me. I didn't realize that it was nothing wrong with me. It was what I was missing. And when I left New York City in December of 1989, my mother had been gone almost 2 years, Jackie, and I could not believe that she wasn't coming back from the baby. How could she leave me? But
So,
my mother was
so
tired.
when you say left, so she didn't pass.
No, she left New York
Just
City.
left. Okay.
She left New York City, and I was so high in those 2 years that she was gone that I really thought she was coming back. I could not believe that my mother had left, but she was tired of watching her children not live the life that she knew that they could have.
Okay.
And so it had gotten really bad. And not just myself, me and my brother were getting high, which was her only son and her baby girl. And I believe at that time my mother was just fed up. She had been with my father, stepfather, and men in her life that had been abusive, as well as had their own demons and addictions. And I think she just couldn't take it anymore. And she didn't leave us like, I'm done with y'all. She left us like, I love you and I got to hand you over to God. And I sent my daughter down to start school in 89 of August. And when she came down, I promised that I would be, and it took me 3-4 months till I got here, but I knew I had to make it by Christmas. I left December 15th, which I should have been here in August and September. However, I left in 1989, December 15th. My last time of drug activity was 1989, December 16th.
Okay.
From that point on, all I could do was kick cold turkey. My why is because I did not know that my life was so valuable. I did not know that the passion inside of me was a hole that was missing from things that had happened to me as a child, things I had did and hid and was ashamed of, things that I had buried. And so I was trying to escape daily, not to even bring it up. But I knew somewhere out there in the world, and I knew in my heart that my life was, that it was more to life. It had to be than what I was dealing with. Okay. And so why I chose to get here, I didn't. I really did not choose to become this woman that I am today. And I'm proud of her, because I don't know her half the time. When she allows herself to be spoken down to or disrespected or hurt or damaged in any way, I don't know this Patricia. See, because Trish wouldn't have been able to deal with that. Trish would have had a foul mouth. Trish would have let you know where to get off. Trish would have had her own way to retaliate. But today, Patricia allows God to fight the battles. So my why is to let other people know that this is not the end of you. There is hope in any situation. I don't care if you're stealing, lying, cheating, stabbing, backstabbing, and you just got out of church 5 minutes ago and you're still doing it. God has a plan for your life. And believe me, this journey has been up, down, up, down, up, down, in, out, in, out. I'm sick of God. God sick of me. I'm back and forth. I'm hurt. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? With so many questions.
Right.
But in the interim and the end, he always wins. Because I've learned that love never fails. And my mother loved me back to a healthy spiritual state where I was able to stand on my own. And from 1989 to now, I can proudly say I am drug free from 1989 for 30 years. This past December 2019. So my why is to help other people understand that it's not what happened to you. I mean, what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you. And the things that you have trying to bury is what's really going on. And I try to help people unbury them in a safe environment where they can feel safe and not feel ashamed of what they're going through.
Right. So, and I know I'm kind of going back a little bit, but so
It's okay.
you were the baby.
Yes.
And then you had, I know you just got the one brother, and then you have an older sister?
I have 3 older sisters. There's 5 of us.
Okay, 5
I have
of you.
3
Okay.
older sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
My brother's the baby boy, the only boy, and then I have 3 sisters that are older than me.
Oh, okay. So when you left New York, you left Brooklyn, that was in what year?
89.
89. And then you've been where you are now in St. Louis?
Well,
Or near
I
St.
moved
Louis?
back. No, I moved back twice. I moved
Okay.
back due to the fact of my ex-husband. I got married with someone that I was already involved with kind of before I left New York. And I found out he was in a situation. And I went back to try to visit. I really didn't go back to visit him. I went back to New York and I met up with his son. And his son was someone who I assisted in as far as a mother figure when we were dating. And his son was really like, loved me. And we end up being really cool. And so what he did was he ended up being the catalyst to pull us back together. My ex-husband was actually in prison at that time, and he gave us each other numbers and phone numbers, and we got back in touch. So when I got back involved with my ex-husband, then all of a sudden I became moving back and forth to New York because I had to go and visit him. So I was moving back, then I tried to move back again, and it just didn't work out because as soon as I kept moving back, something would happen down here, that in St. Louis, I'm saying, that would make me move back to Missouri. So I would end up moving to New York, back to Missouri, to New York, back to Missouri. So I've moved twice, but like, this has been the longest I've been still since my mother passed, and I've been still like right here.
Okay. You know what? And you saying be still. I think a lot of times we end up running. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot to be still. Don't it? It takes a lot to be still and just to kind of, I guess, deal with you. You know what I mean? Because it's easy. It's easy to be on the move. You know, because when you're on the move, a lot of times you may be, you know, and it's one thing to be productive, y'all, to be, you know, doing something productive. But it's another thing to feel like you have to be on the move in order to not feel. You know what I mean? In order to not really address your own feelings. You know,
Right.
so it's like when you say that about you know, just kind of being still, I know I could relate to that piece, you know, being still. So yeah, so thanks for sharing it. I was gonna ask you something, and I'll be trying not to, you know, just jump in because I don't want to, you know, interrupt you, but sometimes I have little senior moments, y'all, and I kind of forget um what it is exactly I was gonna say, but you did tell us a little bit about, you know, about your family. Now, did you know your dad? I know you didn't necessarily mention him. No? Okay.
No, actually, this past December, my daughter purchased me a DNA test.
Okay.
Um, Some things are a little touchy, so I gotta get the tissue out.
Okay. Okay.
I had a great stepfather. Don't get me wrong. My stepfather was everything that a father should be.
Okay.
But it's just something about that hole in your heart that, you know, wanting to know where you come from, who you come from, what's your lineage. Even though I know Christ is my father, don't get me wrong. I know my heavenly father. It's something inside of me that knows that I have a connection on this earth that I'm missing. And a lot of people, I was so envious as a child of family members that had a mother and a father at home, or grandmothers and grandfathers. I still, at 55 years old, sit at the feet of elderly people and listen to them. I have friends on Facebook that I have actually met sitting in airports that are elderly, like 80 and 90, have been married 40 and 50 years. They're different nationalities, they're everything, but they're everything to me. And when they talk to me and they share their wisdom of how they've stayed married, husband and wives, I just sit and talk and listen to them as if I knew them for years. And they actually become my Facebook friends, and they love me as if they like my grandparents. And I just be so excited about that, because I'm a child that never knew her grandparents. So sometimes it was a good thing, sometimes it was not. With my daughter, I made sure she knew her grandfather, her grandmothers. She had both grandmothers, both grandfathers. She had her father. I made sure that she knew them, whether they wanted to be bothered or not, because it's just something about knowing where you come from and who you come from that I did not have. So I wanted my daughter to have it to a fault, and I'll just leave it at that, because I'm realizing today some of that. Some of my daughter upbringing wasn't the best because of what I didn't have. I forced on her. I'll leave it that way. And by forcing that on her, I think I've taught her some I don't want to say unethical values, but some unhealthy, thank you God, thank you Jesus, some unhealthy values and morals. But we're talking about it today. Me and my daughter are now like, we talk about everything. So now I say to her, forgive me for allowing, making you think that because this person didn't want to be bothered, or this person and you, this was the way love should look. I molded in that. Forgive me for making you think this is the way love should look from a father, from a grandparent, from a mother. Even when you didn't feel loved, I made sure that you thought you was being loved. And now today, I realize, Jackie, that you don't have to think you're being loved. You can actually be loved. You don't have to put up with somebody mistreating you. You can actually get that love that you're looking for and not have to accept whatever somebody has to give you just to have a father, or just to have a mother, or just to have a grandparent, or just to have, you know, an aunt or uncle, and say that they're your family. But you don't have to be abused by them just to say that you have them. So I had to really go and ask my daughter to forgive me, because some of these things that I've imputed into her life are unhealthy values. Yeah.
And you just have the one daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just take this time to thank you for sharing that with us, Patricia. Let me just take this time to, and I want to acknowledge everyone that has joined us, because I can't see it on my laptop. That's why I'm kind of peeking down at my phone. I can see it here. But if I mispronounce your name, or, forgive me. But a few people have joined us. Angela, Tamika, I believe it's Shaquanda.
That's my daughter.
Oh, because it says Shaquanda's journey of life. Okay,
Yes,
nice, Shaquanda.
that's her journey.
I should, okay. And I know I'm Miss Jenna. I know I mess up your name, but thank you so much for joining us. And Mary, how you doing, Mary? You down here to
Hi,
tell
Mary.
hands. Let me make sure I got everything pulled up. So I just want to, acknowledge you ladies. Thank you so much for taking the time, to come and get these nuggets and join us, so much appreciated. And also too, ladies, please tag another culture consultant and also share it out. Okay. And please leave whatever comments or questions you may have as we go along and as I'm losing my voice. Okay. So so let me ask you this, Patricia. I normally ask people, and I know you've kind of, spoke about it previously, but what would you say would have been your biggest challenge, whether it be in your, professional life and or your personal life that you want to tell us about, and how you manage to not allow that to stop you, not to knock you down to the point where you just give up or you just gave up. So share that with us.
Well, um, I'll talk about my latest conquest.
Okay.
The one I'm still dealing with, writing
Okay.
about, and doing things with right now.
Okay.
It's um, a daily practice of mine, which is called forgiveness.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So about 6 years ago, I had an ordeal that brought me to my knees with forgiveness. I didn't even know that I probably had way more things where I hadn't forgiven. I had unpacked. I had gave my life to the Lord. A lot of times we go to church and do all that stuff,
Mhm.
but we have not dealt with any of the stuff that we really need to deal with. We feel like we could just throw it in the sea of forgetfulness, never to rise again. But somewhere along the line, let's just say I was always abused physically. And then I meet somebody that just simply raised their hand, and I don't know why they raising their hand, and I get emotional about it. And it could not even be they swing at me, but that old PTSD comes up. That old behavior of somebody's finna beat me or whatever the case may be. With the unforgiveness, I never knew that I had so much of it within me. Unforgiveness of from when I was a child, unforgiveness of when I was left alone. I was dealing with abandonment. I was dealing with rejection. I was dealing with all of these things was packed inside a luggage, a big suitcase. You ever bought a suitcase set and you got the small suitcase to
Mhm.
carry on? That carries you every day. That's your stuff you carry on you every day. You got your little throw, got your purse, you got that with all of your issues inside of it and your skeleton. Then you got these next bags. They go deeper and deeper, and the bigger they get, they all can fit inside one
One.
big
Mhm.
suitcase.
Yeah.
And that one big suitcase was a suitcase called unforgiveness.
Okay.
And one day, God made me deal with unforgiveness and pain and shame and guilt. Because one thing I've learned as a woman of God, every spirit is attached to a bigger spirit. There is no I'm just a bad person, or I'm just a thief. Because as my mama used to say, if you rob, you steal, you kill. You know, everything has a link.
I'll just say
And there's
that.
a book called Pigs in the Parlor that I read before that talks about the different links of spirits that attach themselves. Once you let one in, they start housing themselves. So
Okay.
I began to really um, deal with this unforgiveness and unpacking this almost 6 years ago. I had to deal with some things. And I had to deal with first being able to forgive myself,
Yeah.
because I had carried all of this weight with me from the age that I can remember, which was about 5 or 6 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And along that time, some things started happening to me. I don't know if this is the family show. I don't know what kind of show this is, but what I want to say is this is the business show. If you choose to dig, I'll answer your questions. But what I want to say is at 5, things happened. And at that time that the things started happening, I began to withdraw more and more and more and more and more. And I became more and more and more withdrawn into, I'm cute. You the cutest little chubbiest little fat little girl I know. That started putting me in a shell. So I was cute, but I was fat. I was this, but I was that. You know, it was never I was enough. I was never enough. I was always this and that. I was smart and I was cute, but I was still chubby. So all of these little things, I remember shopping in the little Macy's Huskies department, and all of these things started really attaching themselves to me, to where I became more and more and more as I grew up. I wanted to prove myself. But then as the more I gave of myself in any kind of way, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, the more people took from me. And at that point, I remember becoming abusive.
And you became abusive?
Verbally.
Okay.
Verbally abusive. Okay. I wanted to get the one up on you, so I became sexually abusive to myself. I remember wanting to be always in charge of everything. I had to run everything. You know, I had to make sure everything was in order because you didn't know how to do it. I knew how to do it. I'm the best me I know, but that was just a cover up for all my flaws. And I remember losing my voice, and I found my voice in the wonderful world of drugs and sex.
Okay.
And along that journey, I started dealing with a lot of back and forth with the men in my lives. And now I'm talking about just simple marijuana at this point in my life. I was a teenager where we drank one bottle of MD 2020, like 20 of us drank one bottle, and we was all drunk in middle school. You know, I got to high school, please, a bottle of Cisco, 5 of us could drink it, and I was drunk. I never was good drink, like drink. I always threw up everything. And as I started dating and getting more into the New York City life and getting more into the project life and growing up in Bedford-Stuyvesant in the projects, at the age of, when we moved in, I was just starting high school. So I was probably about 13. And I can remember it so clearly, being scared to death of the projects, because I lived in private, you know, like we was just talking about Flatbush and brownstone houses and apartment buildings. I never lived in a project, you know, so at 13 years old, being a teenager, I was lost. I remember people knocking on the door wanting to play with me. One of my best friends right now is my daughter's godmother. She was my next door neighbor. And she knocked on the door and asked me to come outside, and I was scared to death. And I told her, I'm in the house helping my mother bake some cookies. I wasn't coming outside. I was scared to even walk to the elevator, you know, walk to the elevator, the incinerator, and all of that. So when it finally took time for me to come outside and really become, I was lost. Like, I was so much of like looking around at all the boys and all the kids and all the noise and all of it. I only went outside when my sister and my brother went out. And when I went to school, they walked me to the bus stop and everything. So once you let the lion out the den, full of all that trauma, all of that secrets, all of that unforgiveness, all of that pain, all that hurt, then I found boys. And when I found boys, I found better sex than I thought I had already, which was rolling on each other and all of that other stuff. But I found real sex, which I equated as love. And the 2 men that I ever even thought I liked any kind of way or was in love with was the first 2 men that ever gave me the hardest drugs in my life, which would lead me into the addictive world of drugs, which was heroin, cocaine. And that just kind of spiraled into all of that feel good. Let me feel good right now and pay for it later type of lifestyle.
Okay.
And I had the chains, and I had the gold teeth, and I had the salt and pepper look, and I had all of that stuff that they was doing in the early 80s and the middle 80s and the 90s and all of that. I had all of that.
You had you some gold teeth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had gold teeth. Um, but I knew how to get them out too. I'm like, listen, I can't be walking around here looking crazy now. Now you see everybody in St. Louis with gold teeth, and I'm like, why did I take mine out? Probably because I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
And yeah, life was life. You know, I came with the big door knockers, and I still wear my big earrings. I love my hoops. I love them. But I would actually say the biggest suitcase I was carrying around was the unforgiveness, which housed every element of who I am no longer today. You know, I learned how to unpack it, and people get offended with me sometimes, Jackie, and I can honestly say this because I try to deal with stuff right head on, right then and there.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
if something gets up under my skin, I'm not going to bed with that in my heart. I don't want to get it thinking up here
Yeah.
and it end up penetrating my heart to where my heart gets hardened again. Once you are free, it is hard to deal with life, with carrying all that baggage. I got enough physical weight on me. I don't need all that emotional weight on me.
You
So
know,
I learned to unpack and carry lightly whatever I need to. And who needs to stink will stay. Who needs
yeah.
to go will flow. And that's just the way I handle that.
You know, a couple of things. So I'm gonna try to make sure I remember everything.
You need to
One,
stop me too.
you
I'm
just
saying too much.
no. You are excellent. I was gonna say I like the analogy about the suitcase. You know, the little small suitcase inside a little bit bigger one. You know, and then that whole analogy about we don't realize how much we be holding on to. You know what I mean? And so that was one thing I wanted to say. I love that analogy. And two, I like how you say you don't hold on to anything. And I don't know, to be honest with you, I think that's one thing that I've been doing for a very long time. I don't even know how it started, but if something is bothering me, I'm real quick to be like, you know what? Can I come on over here? Can I talk to you for a minute? You know what I mean? So it's just like, and it is so freeing because, like, you don't hold grudges. Like, I know I don't hold no grudge. You know what I mean? Because stuff like that weighs you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm feeling some kind of way or I want to get clarity on the situation, I'm just gonna talk to you about it right then, and we just gonna hash it out. That way, I can continue, or we can continue to move on. You know what I mean? In the most productive way possible. So I want to say that. And lastly, but definitely not least, I think that when we start to talk about being, forgiveness, I think a lot of times people are so focused on, and this is important too, are so focused on forgiving others when a lot of times we don't even forgive ourselves. And if we don't forgive ourselves, what does that mean? That means that we don't feel like we are worthy. So we can be spinning our wheels, right? And if you don't think you're worthy, then you're going to block your blessings. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to take opportunities. You're going to dim your light. You're not going to put yourself out there because you don't think you're worthy of happiness. And I know what it feels like to be on the other side, like looking in. You know, yo, my voice is really just whoo. Being on the outside, looking in. And I realize now that it was because I didn't think I was worthy, because I didn't forgive myself for this and that and the other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that whole forgiveness piece, and especially with us as African American women, I think that forgiveness piece is huge. And I'm telling you, just about every guest that I have on the show, we always talk about that. We talk about the forgiveness piece and we talk about self care. And we will talk about self care in a little bit. But I wanted to mention that about that forgiveness piece because that is so powerful. It's so powerful. So I'm so glad that that is your topic for today. And I know you're going to tie everything in. And I'm pretty sure some of you out there, and let us know in the comments if this is resonating with you, the whole piece about forgiveness, forgiving others as well as forgiving yourself. Okay, I gotta take a sip of water. Okay. I don't want to start coughing, y'all. You gonna say
I just
something?
want to add this. Yeah, I just want to add this. You know, I remember when I was not a child that was made to go to church when I was younger. So I remember thinking I was so demonic that and believe me, I don't have no bunch of enemies or nothing out there, but in my mind, I wasn't who I knew I should be. So in my mind, something was wrong with me. So I thought I was just a demon seed. Why did nobody want me? Why did I not have, these people in my life? And it was just so horrific to me. And I remember thinking to myself about, you know, um, when I first got in the church, and I really started learning some word, and it said to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And people said that as if it was a daily thing, that we truly loved ourselves, as if people really loved themselves. So, but when I see how you treated your neighbor, it showed that you couldn't possibly love yourself. Because if it says to love your neighbor as you love yourself, and you were lying and cheating and backstabbing and cheating and robbing them blind, or I'm not talking about physical, and I'm just saying robbing them of the glory of getting to know who you are. It's a robbery. If I don't let you meet me, Jackie, and I don't give myself to you, but I put on this face every time you see me, I rob you of Coach P. I rob you of being just me. And I can't keep robbing people of who I am, trying to please other people that don't really, I'm just going to say it, don't really give a damn.
Don't really matter. Right. Yeah, don't even matter.
So I'm robbing people that really need these analogies, these things about me, these certain little ways that I can bring to life and bring the vision to life in their life, and show them in a common everyday factor that their life matters, that there is hope at the end of the tunnel by just that's how I coach. I coach with little analogies. I do not coach with no big words. I don't try to over scripturalize everything. I don't try to make them feel bad about who they are not. I bring to light the things that they have, and we build from there. And so when I think about when the Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself, I have to learn to love me before I can love you. Before I can lie to you, I have to learn the truth about myself. Yes. How I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm not even feeling the truth or speaking the truth about who I am. But I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to say, girl, I don't lie. Yes, I do. When I'm standing in your face and presenting a different Patricia than how I am, I'm lying. Yes. It's a lie before God. God knows that that's not me, but everybody goes, God knows my heart. Yes, he does. And he also knows your motives. Right. So when I am in my coaching and preaching, and even when I go in the jails, when I talk to people every day in a grocery store, I went to Red Lobster last night, and I just started talking to a young lady. She was 18 years old, and the Lord just used me to bring up a conversation. And the girl was from a foster care. She gave me her number. She told me her whole life, how her parents had went through opioids. It's just a common bond. I'm not trying to live above where I know God has me. Because who's going to be down here for the underdog? Who's going to be down here to help? If everybody just fly to the top, the moment they receive Christ, who's going to stay down here to help them rise? Yeah. So this little girl just started telling me she graduated May 16th. And she asked me to come. She's a foster child. I didn't know that. She said, my foster parents would love to meet you. I gave her one of my cards. She told me she graduated May 16th. She's successful. She's doing good. She's getting ready to go to college. She told me what she wanted to be. I get so excited. So I birthed one child, but I'm a mother of many. I have a lot of spiritual kids. They love me like I birthed them. Why? Because I'm silly, I'm goofy, I love to have fun. I could put that pastor title over here, but they still love me, they still respect me, and they still get the best of me. So I'm able to love them because I love them how I love me, which is with the best care I know how today. Now, all of that yesterday stuff, I carry that and I'm still dealing with that. But guess what? The tomorrow stuff, the fun stuff, the self-care stuff, the things I love to do with people and how I love to laugh and dance. My daughter, she used to be like, why everybody want to come see my mom? But I treat them with the love and care that I wish, you know, and that I can't even say I wish because I had. It tells you that you can only love to the measure in which you've been loved. And believe me, my mother was a lover, baby. She hugged, she coddled, she's kept secrets. She was a wonderful mother. No, I can't take none. I wish I could be 1/4 of the woman she was. But I want you to know that people trying to love above their love, it's like trying to live above your means, trying to love above your means.
Okay.
It wears you down because you take on all of these people trying to be somebody that you're not. I love at the level in which I love. And my love language is always affirmation. I love to tell people how much God loves them. I love to talk to them, give them words of accolades, talk to them about how much God loves them, let them know that there's hope no matter what they've done, no matter where they are, and no matter who they think they are. I try to tell them whose they are. So I just want to iterate with that because even in the fact of the matter of loving your neighbor, you have to love yourself. You cannot just jump up and love somebody until you love yourself. And that's some of the roles that we take on as women, trying to love a man before we love ourselves. We don't even know what that's like. We don't even know what that's like.
I'm so glad you brought up that analogy in reference to, loving your neighbor. And how can you really love somebody else? Like you said, that goes across the board. How can you love somebody else? Like you mentioned, your significant other, and you don't even really love yourself. You don't even really understand what that really means, but I think that that's a huge piece of the puzzle that's missing a lot of times. You know what I mean? How can you, like you said, you read the scripture and everything, but how can you love somebody else if you don't even love yourself?
Yes.
And a lot of people don't even realize they don't love themselves, but you can tell by, what they do. You know what I mean? What they do, what they say, how they do what they do, how they treat other people. You know what I mean? So I know that's why I'm real big on watching people's actions. I'm real big on, actions tell me, who you are as a person versus what you say to me out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Because to me, you can craft up something and, say something verbally, but those actions is going to show it. They may not show it initially, but they're eventually going to show it. They're going to show really, truly what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
So, so I'm just looking at the time here. Okay. So let us know, how do you practice good self-care?
Well, one thing I do, and everybody will tell you, I will ignore you when I am taking care of me. My daughter be like, "Mom," and she'll be like, "Hello, hello," and that's my only child, and I'll be like, psh, every phone. When I'm home, my phone is usually in my bedroom, and I am everywhere in my house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 10 rooms in this house.
Okay.
And that's counting two living rooms, 2 kitchens, kitchen dining room, a long corridor, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, a full basement, and you expect me to hear a phone ringing or pay attention and run back and forth to get a phone or even carry it on my body at all times. I'm not going to do that. So when I make up my mind that I am taking the day off from, and I'm just going to post inspirational and get off. Between just putting the phones away for a day or two, and just getting in the word or just doing nothing, I can lay in my room and just cry. And it don't be an ugly cry. It be that happy cry like, Lord, how do you love me like this? Like, I just can't believe that from the person I used to be, that I'm her today, that I'm finally making some momentum, that I'm finally picking up some traction in my life, and life is truly happening for me. I just can't believe it. You know how much you love me, through all of my pain, through all of my shame, through all of my guilt, through all of my baggage. How did you love me? And I could just lay in there and cry all day, Jackie, and I don't be mad or sad, but I cleanse my soul and I take a break like that. I just let everything go for the day or for a couple of hours. I'm a big masseuse person. I love getting massages. I love going to get a massage. I love getting them. I love to just relax. I go to the movies by myself. I go shopping by myself. I go eat by myself. I go walking by myself. I go to the gym by myself. I don't want to talk. When I get to my self-care days, I don't want to talk about your husband. I don't want to talk about your problems. I don't want to be Coach P. I don't want to be Pastor P. I just want to be me. And I just want to lay back and enjoy girlfriend time. And if you don't have that in your life, you can't hang out with me, because I'll shut you down real quick. I'll ask you how much you paying and you on the clock. And that'll shut them down real quick. Because I learned to charge people for all of this knowledge. I paid for this knowledge. I paid for this training. I paid for certificates. I paid for that. So don't think in the name of trying to sneak in the back door and get free training, you're going to just pop in and get some free training every once in a while and then give the homage to somebody that ain't did nothing for you. I'm not doing that no more. But I love to read. My daughter knows. She's a little tricky girl. My daughter knows so much about me. She'll even know some of my passwords. She'd be like, "Oh, I know this my mama," and she'll just come up with what I love to do and start doing stuff. I'd be like, "Girl, get out of here. Get off my business." When she was younger, she used to always configure stuff out. And I just love to just relax. I'm also a foster parent. Of people that have mental disabilities. So I'm a pretty busy person. I ain't in my house by myself. I take care of the undergirded and the underserved. I love taking care of the underserved. But I have some great people. God bless me with some wonderful women. One of my ladies, I just want to put this out here, is nonverbal. It's something about what you just said. Don't tell me you love me. Show me. My lady has been with me 8 years, right? When I say this lady is nonverbal, but I know she loves me and she know I love her, and people see the connection, they see the love, they see, and they just sit up and wonder how she know what I'm saying. And I don't be saying nothing at all. It's a way I've learned to love without even talking. It's the way that I've learned to be who I am without even saying anything to anybody. So the love that I have for people today is so different than the average conversation. I hug. I have some young girls that I met just through a hug. Just through a hug, they knew I loved them.
That's powerful.
The nonverbal conversations is better than anything I've ever had in my life. The love that's shown through gifts and different things like that is way better than anything
Yeah.
I've ever had in my life. And because this lady been in my life 8 years, I can truly say that I've learned to love from a distance, without even a touch, without sexual encounters,
Right.
without men or people, but I've learned how to love in the atmosphere in between us. You know,
Okay.
love in the air. I can truly
Right.
say I love you and mean that, and show it to you from afar
Wow.
without even having to be there next to you, where we got people next to us every day that don't love us.
Ain't that the truth? So, wow. Just goes to show you how powerful once you really tap in, like you said, forgiveness and love yourself and really tap into your purpose, you just so powerful. And I can just see it, in your presence, just how you really are so passionate about what you do, and that you genuinely want to help people. You genuinely want to help people, and you want to see people be the best that they can be, and I don't feel like it's a big charade. I know, and this is something you said earlier, and I forgot I was gonna comment on it, but that whole thing about like wearing a mask, you know what I mean? Sometimes people get so involved and just so used to pretending that they just like, well, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, well,
Yeah,
where'd that come from? Because I think people get so used to being what they think people want them to be, or what's expected of them, so
I got to put the one church finger up. My goddaughter who cooks for me, my healthy meals, is outside ringing my doorbell
oh,
to drop
okay.
my meal off, and she must have forgot that
Shoot,
I
I
was
want a
online.
meal.
So 1 minute, one
Okay.
second, I'll be right back.
Shoot, I want somebody to cook me a meal. I don't know about how y'all feel, but like that's something that I definitely want. Because I want to have me a meal planner where I can just say, hey, this is what I like, and combine that with this is what's good for me, and just have those meals ready. See one day I'm gonna be like Coach P. One day. Listen to her. Well, let me take this moment to just say hi to some of those that joined a little bit later. Gary Smith, let me give you a shout out. How you doing? Another fellow Detroiter. Richard, Adrian, and Antonia. I'm sorry, I know I'll be messing up people's names, but I just want to thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for taking time out on your Sunday afternoon to join us. Please tag another coach or consultant as well as share this broadcast out. Patricia, Coach P, I was just saying I want somebody to drop me some meals off. Okay.
My goddaughter takes good care of me. I can
Oh,
honestly say I have um, some wonderful kids that God has blessed me with. Like I said, I birthed one. I met this young lady a couple of years ago, and she has been like a daughter to me. And whenever
wow.
she cooks, she always say, "Ma, I know you don't eat this and you don't eat that, but I'm cooking today." And she always, and I told her after 5, and she said, "Oh, I forgot, but I left the food in the middle of the door." So I just told her what you had said. But
Yeah.
this is what love will do for you when you are a genuine person. Children and young ladies that want to know you more, and they've never seen a person that looked like you, a genuine person that's not disrespectfully correcting them, but correcting them in love. This young lady she's been phenomenal. I don't even have to have 5 cents. She does my lashes, she does my
Mm.
hair. This mine, she blow dried and cut my ends for me,
Wow.
and pulled my hair out for me the other day. I just want to say that this is what genuine love looks like. It's in action. It's not just in
Mm.
conversation, because you could be right next to somebody that don't even love you. I was just telling somebody today
Yeah.
how you could be in a marriage, a loveless
Mm.
marriage, all these years,
Mhm.
next to somebody, laying in the bed with somebody, and they don't
Mhm.
even love you,
Yeah.
because we don't be honest with one another.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
That's
love
so
her.
true.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so true. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, let me regain myself. Okay, so let's end with, and I know I definitely want you to, I know your topic was forgiveness, and I know we touched on it. So I have a couple other questions, and then I want you to kind of tie in or say, let the audience know anything else you wanted to mention to them in reference to your topic. And then we're going to end on the note. Well, and I'll give you a couple questions in a minute, but we're going to end on the note of letting them know like what you have going on right now. Like what projects are you working on? Um, how they can find you, and then I'll type your web address in. But let them know that. So end on that note exactly how they can find you and what upcoming projects that you're working on. Okay, so let me double back. So the last questions are going to be, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself? Yeah, let's end on that note. What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself? And like I said, and then go back to your topic, forgiveness, because I don't know if you covered everything that you wanted to, get out there in reference to that.
Boy, I have, I just, woo. What advice would I give to younger me? To never allow anybody to define who you are. And what I mean by that is, I think growing up, we want to please so many people. We want to please our peers in the street and at school. We want to please our parents. We want to please our Heavenly Father if we know Him by then. We want to please our earthly friends and family and aunts and uncles and all that is praising us. And what I learned, that the moment that you're not pleased with yourself, you begin to start living this lie, and you start making up stuff like, even just to please everybody, you start pretending to be somebody that you're not. And walk in your truth. Walk in your truth is what I would tell my younger self. So what? You're not getting all A's and then an honor roll anymore, and you're in the 10th grade. Okay, you stopped around, you stopped your studying habits. Walk in your truth. Don't try to pretend to be something that you're not, or embarrassed of who you are. If you want to fix it, fix it. If you don't want to fix it, then just say, this is what I want to do. I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. And be honest about who you are. And if it's a healthy place you're going, I believe that you'll get the right support, and the right people will come along and undergird you. And you said something powerful earlier, that waiting on people to catch on to who you are and onto your platform and how many. I've learned to be an audience of one. I've been able to maintain who I am since God gave it to me, even when the audience is one person.
Right.
So no longer trying to put up with the crowds, no longer trying to create this false me, no longer trying to be something and someone that I'm not, but walking in my truth, because really, whenever we are overeating, and I learned this for myself, it may not be what I'm eating physically, but it could be what's eating me that's causing me all this weight, whether it's physical weight or whether it's spiritual weight, emotional weight, weight on my body. Because I know a lot of skinny people that are not healthy, but it's stress that causes all of this mess. And I had to learn that I wasn't even eating really, and I was still getting big. And the reason why is because I was housing all of this stress in my stomach. I was housing all of this stress and this weight because I wasn't walking in my truth of unforgiveness. So I would say, Trish, first learn to know who you are. Walk in your truth. And as you are becoming Patricia, let go of Trish. Don't keep reaching back to get her. Don't keep going in your bag of tricks, pulling Trish out. Keep walking, and those that need to follow you or walk beside you will be there. And the only time you need to look back and keep apologizing to people back there is when you're going to get them and pull them up. Other than that, I'm no longer coming down off of where God is elevating me. I'm no longer coming down, Jackie, to keep apologizing for something I did when I was 8, 7, 13, 12, 11. It's over. I've apologized to myself. I've apologized to my mother. First I had to apologize to God. Then I repented. Then I apologized to my daughter. But I had it backwards. I needed to apologize to myself, then to my daughter. Then I learned how to apologize for all the other people that maybe I'll never see in a day in their life. But I had to apologize for myself for holding on to what I may have done consciously or unconsciously to them. You know, drugs can make you do a lot of things. But I also know that if I could say anything to her today, I'd tell her, look who you get ready to become. Okay. Look at you, girl.
You know what? When people, some women have like they hear us say that, you know, stand in your truth, you know, no, you know, like don't try to cater to other people, don't try to, you know, please other people, and that's also something that comes up a lot in terms of people pleasing, right? You know, and like you said, it could be, I don't know, maybe we try to please our family, you know, our parents, our aunts, uncles, older siblings, our peers, you know, maybe people at church. It can go on and on and on, right? Right, exactly. So what do you say to the young lady that maybe, and she don't even have to be young, because and the reason I say that is because there are some women that may have gotten married in their 20s, you know, and, you know, started having children. And, you know, a lot of times I hear this over and over again, when we do that, it's easy to, you know, your life then becomes about your children, about your spouse, and all the different responsibilities that we have as a mother, as a wife, you know, in the community, in our families. A lot of times we're the go-to person in our families. And we get so, you know, ingrained in that we're in, you know, once the kids go off to school, we sitting around like, okay, well, who am I? And what am I supposed to do now? And I don't even really know what I like to do. I know I hear that a lot. My story is a little different because I didn't have my first child. I have just the one. I didn't have him until I was 40. You know, so mine is kind of flipped. You know what I mean? When other people was like, you know, getting married and everything, I was somewhere, you know, doing in the dance class at a poetry reading, or, you know, holding sister circles, you know, so mine was a little flopped, you know, a little flip flop. But what do you say to that woman out there? Like I said, you could be in your 20s, you can be in your 40s, and your 50s. What do you say to that woman that's like, wow, how do I begin to stand in my truth?
I would, more than likely, if I had a person that I would be dealing with on that level, actually I had a conversation with a sister yesterday about this. And I had to kind of tell her what she was dealing with around her was because she was tiptoeing around everybody. Instead of, I said, one thing I know about standing in your truth and talking truth is that the truth is what sets us free. Yes. See, I could say to you, Jackie, you know, I can make up something like, you know, when we were little, you know, you did this and you did that, and you tell me, no, that I didn't do that. But the truth of the matter is that's how it felt to me. And until we acknowledge that that's how it felt and where I got that truth from, maybe that's a lie to you because you don't see it that way. But because I see it that way, I also felt it that way. So when you start asking people to stand in their truth, they first got to find out what their truth is. And their truth may be that they're not ready to be married, or they're not ready to be alone, or they're not ready to be, and then we go into why you're not ready.
Right. Okay.
So it's so many things. That's the layers. That's when you start peeling those layers back.
Yeah.
So I would ask that question like, okay, so the truth is that you no longer desire, you're no longer happy
Mm-hmm.
because your daughter went off to college. Why is that? Well, I never got to finish I never got my life. I did everything. And then the anger comes up. Because most people that have nothing to stand on except something that walks away, like a marriage or a child or something like that, usually they are very angry with themselves for not completing their mission, and that they have given their all to their child or that marriage or that husband or that person or that relationship or that church, right? And now you telling me when you strip all this from me, I have nothing, but you are still something.
Yes.
There's always something to rekindle. There's always a reason why things are allowed into our lives. And for me, the truth was I was created for this. I was truly created for caretaking. At 5 years old, I remember dragging my dad, who was a heroin addict, home every single day to make sure he went home. I'm a caretaker now. I remember, knowing all the things that I do today. This big mouth of mine is always running my mouth and always got to prove my points to everybody. I was actually applied to John Jay Law College. I know you know because you're from New York. I applied to that school, right? Because I thought I was supposed to be a lawyer. But what do pastors do?
Yeah.
They argue back and forth the truth and lies.
That's true.
They debate with what the word is saying to the world, and they figure out a way to get it to who? The jurors.
Yeah.
So it could be believable and you can be acquitted, or those charges can be dropped.
Right.
Same exact thing, a different method, a different title. So all of the things that I look at, I always learned how to do hair when I was little. I'm a beautician. I do, all the things I do in my life today, I did them when I was little. So when I think about what to do when your children are gone, but for me, when my daughter was away for 12 years, guess what I did? I went and took care of somebody else's kids because it was that mother factor. I needed to be a mom.
Wait a minute, hang on, Patricia, 1 second. Ladies that are watching, can you hear Patricia okay? For some reason, something happened. I don't think it's anything on my end, but something happened and your volume kind of went down. I want to make sure people can still hear you okay. Can y'all still hear us okay? Okay, nobody responded yet. Did you do anything? Say something now, Patricia.
Hello?
Okay, that's better. Okay, I don't know what happened. I just want to make sure people can still hear you. I don't want you to be talking and then they can't hear you. Okay.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird. I didn't think so. I don't know. But I hear you better now.
Well, probably I had got kind of relaxed and leaned back maybe, and now I'm up closer to it.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got kind of relaxed and was leaned back and was talking back like this. So that might be the projection of my voice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely tell them to find their first love, that first thing that sparked your interest. That's why I call reigniting your vision, because the truth of the matter is, I know a lot of people want to ignite your vision, but see, God already put an ignition inside of us. And it tells us, the Bible says that we already come ignited. The problem is the cares of this world snuffs out. How many, you have these dreams when you're little, right? I'm gonna marry, I'm gonna have a picket fence, whatever your dream is. You could be already dreamed of something that but along the way, we lose something. We lose us. Pieces of us are taken away, or we get weighed down by the things in this world. So I just help people dig back through that trash and find themselves. And I would tell women, men, children, teenagers, what was your first passion? And when I look back everything I was created for, I'm doing right now,
I
and
like
on
that.
a larger scale, and being paid for it.
Yep, I like that. What's your passion? Yep. I always say, like, what is it that you done kind of stuffed in the closet, right? And as you put more stuff in, and it gets pushed to the back, what was that? You know, whether you like to write, whether you, I don't know, like to sew, whether cooking is your passion, what is it that you do that you feel most inspired? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What soothes you? What do you do that you just get lost in, or that just feels so natural? And it's just like,
I,
usually when people start talking about it, right? They light up. Well, I used to like to blah blah blah, and like
yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
yeah. And you think about it, so many people become depressed because they have let their life go.
Yeah.
They call it letting their life go. Like, I've just been so involved in this and I really haven't, and then when their kids go away, they can't seem to let go
Yeah.
because they've given their all to lose who they really are, but they think that that's what a parent does.
That's what they
No,
do.
self-care is healthy balance. You have to
Yeah.
have a healthy balance because you have to be able to let them go at any point in time.
Mhm.
And it don't feel good. I'm pretty sure mothers don't want to let their boys go when they get married, and fathers don't want to let their daughters go when they get ready to get married. And who wants to let anybody go that you love, especially if you lost them to a tragedy? But think about this. The preparation is there. I thank God my mother prepared me for her home going. And I tell my daughter all the time, my mother taught me so many things except how to live without her.
Okay. Okay.
She taught me so many things, but she never taught me how to live without her, Jackie. So I say, prepare yourself for the things that are going to come, and build your house up on a solid rock and not on sinking sand. Because
Yeah.
the moment tragedies like what's coming in today happen, you're going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You're going to fall apart. I have been through tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And trust me, I had my moments. But I
Okay.
thank God I never fell apart.
That's right. You are still
Yeah.
here, and you are shining just as bright.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. So you know what? Let's let me acknowledge I'm a Marilyn King and DE Speaks. Thank you for joining us. So let us know, what are you currently working on right now? What are some of the irons in the fire, so to speak, that you have going on right now?
Well, on my platform, I am working on building up my coaching career. I will graduate John Maxwell actually March 17th through the 25th. I'll be in Orlando, Florida. I'll be finished with that program, and we'll be walking the stage. I just finished with two of Lisa Nichols' wonderful programs, Speak and Write and Ignite Your Speaking. I finished with those two programs last 2 years. I've been working with her, and then my first original coaching certificate came from Professional Coaching Academy, and
Okay.
I'm going into executive coaching. And that's one of my big things. I love to work with organizations, with people with mental health. I love to work in recovery homes. I love to go and visit women in shelters. I'm actually going to South Carolina in the next month or two to work at to present at one of the shelters down there that one of the ladies that I'm her coach um, is in, and they have now, the executive director sees the way she's grown and have asked me to come down and do a presentation for the ladies down there. So I'll be going to South Carolina. That's what's going on my platform, besides the fact of going to organizations and working with and within People with Vision, which is my umbrella. That's the 5013C, and then the
Mm-hmm.
LLC is the Reigniting the Vision, which is my company that I work up under for the coaching. So I try to keep them separate, because what I found as a pastor, a lot of people will try to get all of your coaching out of you as a pastor, where you went and spent all of this money
Mm-hmm.
to become this coach. Then you feel like obligated to
Mm-hmm.
be their pastor. And
Right.
no, if you're trying to get coaching
Yeah.
out of me, that's a cost. That's a cost. That's a whole separate entity. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to separate those two. So on that, that's what I'm working for. I also am coaching my ex-husband, which is where the forgiveness piece comes from. He is Jonathan Fleming. I am the North Carolina liaison, community liaison, and his manager. And what I do there is I help him build up for his speaking engagements. He is a man that did 24 years, 7 months, and 20 days for a murder he did not commit. I
Wow.
told you I'm for the underdog. I've
Wow.
always been there. I have family members that have been in and out of prison all their lives. So
Mm-hmm.
I know what that looks like as a person that of color that go to prison for something you didn't do and or for what you did do and come home and cannot find a job,
Right.
decent housing, an apartment, a room, or anything. So I am working with him on his platform as well, and he's finishing up his book, and we get ready to go on a book tour as of April. As of April, we have a book tour coming out. Let me see. That's the Jonathan Fleming Foundation, which, like I said, I'm the community liaison. So we connect. We're doing housing. We're trying to open up our platform to join with other platforms that are like-minded as far as prison reform
Okay.
and reforming your life after prison.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working with right now, and also dealing with the prisons in Missouri. I'm relocating and doing a whole lot of things right now that are like, I don't even want to talk about it so much. My brain about ready to pop. So that's that, leaving your stuff over here to help somebody else, and all of a sudden God just
Mm-hmm.
elevates your platform even higher. So I found that my selflessness is what elevates me. When I work on my stuff, I seem stalled. But when I'm working on other people's stuff, Jackie, it seems like when I turn back around, my stuff is elevated. So
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to help other people get where they got to go, and then I'm growing up with them. We're all growing up. So that's a major thing. We have the 700 Club coming out Tuesday. I'm working on this whole unforgiveness piece, of course, where I am a Black woman, and what I'm
Yes.
doing in that is telling and sharing a bit of how I had to forgive this man that walked out of prison and walked into the arms of someone else after I was the one that I thought I was supposed to be there when he got this mega money, right? When he got all this money, I just knew I was supposed to be there to get all that money. But guess what? I'm just running a foundation. Me
Okay.
and him are friends. We work good together. We're
Okay.
working on because I was already working in the book project, I introduced him to the lady that's publishing I Am a Black Woman, and they
Mm-hmm.
became good friends, and now they're working together. So I'm helping him getting his story wrote and out in the
Okay.
public. And then I'm also working with another young lady that's writing her book and help her get her voice out. So now I'm in the I'm in the projects of a process of helping people get their voice told via book or
Mm-hmm.
platform or some type of speak or write
Okay.
platform.
Okay. Now I thought I saw a posting um that something you had posted. Do you have like an academy, or were you recently like taking people in for your coaching program? Because you coach men and women, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So was that you? Didn't I
Yes.
see something? Okay.
Yes.
So when
So,
does that start, or is
well,
it
I was
first come
supposed
first serve?
no, I was supposed to start in February, but I'm pushing it back to March. It's called the Coach's Couch,
Okay.
and what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing something totally different than what I did before, because what I was doing was like people would just call out of nowhere and get all of what they wanted to get. And my rates can go through Medicaid, Medicare billing, and all of that kind of stuff. So what I've learned to do as a peer specialist is I've learned, because peer specialists are popping up everywhere in every state. So I can actually build my coaching thing through the peer if it's somebody with substance use and mental health. But when it's just an everyday Joe, I was going to just give people a little room where they could come in and really get me by themselves and talk to me, but also meet other people that are working on platforms, and they can share with each other instead of it being all over Facebook. Because what I found is when you put your business on Facebook, next thing you know, it's 4 or 5 other people with your titles, with your names, with your stuff, and it gets confusing of what you even in, you know, and what you're doing. And I wanted people to have a safe place. So I created, which I had been did the coach's couch like about a year or so ago, but then I never made it a room where you actually come in and get some advice, get some information, and get me one-on-one for the week as well, and be able to talk to me one-on-one via Zoom.
I was gonna say, so it's like a Zoom room. It's a private Zoom link. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the people with vision.org, that's you, right? That's your site.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you already had that down there. So you guys, or men or women, can connect with her at peoplewithvision.org, and they could, set up an appointment. Go ahead.
One more thing. I have a spiritual brother that is in Trinidad. I'm going to be working on this. The Lord put it on my heart this morning. He's in Trinidad. And how he got there was he got deported after being in the United States all of his life. And when he got out of prison, he found out that at the age of 5 years old, his parents brought him from Trinidad. Now, this is somebody that I've been friends with since we was young. And I'm like, how in the world you get over there?
So he gets out of prison and then gets deported?
He got deported, had never been in Trinidad since he was 5 years old, and didn't know anybody over there. So right now he's over there surviving, and he's doing the thing. And of course, when you've been a hustler all your life in New York City, you already know that we know how to survive. So I really want to set up a platform, because what I didn't say was that I'm also a donor. I donate lots and shovel things. Anything I can do for anybody, I do. So he was explaining how he could get donations and this and that. And this is a brother that is 100%. I know him, so I'm not trying to worry about my money going over in a country and I don't know what's going on. I know him personally. So when you talk about other countries, I'll be like, oh no, I don't know about sending nothing over there because I don't know what's going on. But I know him. I am going to be doing like I don't know if I'm going to do like a GoFundMe or something like that. But what I am going to do, and what he did do for me, was open up some doors for me. And I am so excited. He sent me to come to Trinidad. He opened up the doors for me to come over to Trinidad, because I was talking to him the other day, and he said, sis, we need you so bad over here. Some people need to be inspired and this and that. He said it's not much, but they're willing to let you come over and speak in the prisons and help these women over here and this and that. And I was so humble. I was so humble, like, brother, I'm trying to help you and you trying to help me. And he like, listen, I love you. He was your friend, the neighborhood gangster that stopped and checked on all his little sisters every time you saw me, like, sis, you all right? You good? You cool? What's going on? You know these people? And I'll be like, yeah, go ahead. Now I'm trying to get my rap on, and he got to come and blow up. The dudes get scared and burn out. So I know him personally, and this dude is like amazing to me. What he's been able to do in 2 years of his life, coming over there and not knowing nobody. He's opened up a gym. He's struggling, but he's also surviving. And I just want to be able to bless him and help him. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. And I don't know how I'm going to donate or what I'm going to donate, but I am going over there to speak once we get all of the formalities out of there. So you'll see me going to Trinidad. I think I'm going to London. I don't know where else I'm going. I know I'm supposed to be going to Jamaica as well, because I have family over members that's from Jamaica. So I
Okay.
know I'm supposed to be going to Jamaica as well. So God is just using me, Jackie, and I don't know why,
Yes.
but I'm tired and I'm amazed, and I know He got
Yeah. Wow, that's exciting.
me. Yeah.
That's really exciting. But we'll all be following you. I know I'll be seeing your posts when you be traveling and your little bags and when you first get to the hotel room. So, yeah, so that's exciting. Wow, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so you all know Patricia and I, we are a part of it's a book collaboration and a movement. It's called I Am a Black Woman Next Level. You may have heard of I Am a Black Woman. This is, I guess it's a separate project, right? It's a
Yes.
separate project. I Am a Black Woman Next Level.
Same movement,
Hmm.
separate project though.
Right. So, just be looking out for that. Because I'm really excited about it and it's gonna be so powerful. And it's just gonna be powerful. So just, keep on the lookout for that because that book is supposed to launch in what is it, August, right?
Yes.
The August area. Okay, so we got a little time. But then again, next thing you know, August will be here before we know it, right? Because we almost through on February. Can y'all believe that? It seemed like it was just yesterday we was yelling Happy New Year and 2020, and now we almost at the end of February.
Yes.
So time don't wait for nobody. So, but look out for that because that's going to be very, very powerful. Again, that's I Am a Black Woman Next Level. So, anything else you wanted to add or share with everyone before we close out? I know you probably ready to eat your food, right?
No, the only thing I wanted to say about with the I Am a Black Woman, my piece in that is when women forgive, miracles happen.
Mm.
And I'm gonna tell you the forgiveness piece and what I'm gonna talk about in this book, the miracle of what happened, how the doors begin to unlock and every piece fell in place once I forgave. And I don't mean just one person. It became a domino effect. The doors just started opening. There is, um, for all of us, for every person watching, every person on the replay, whatever, there is a component to our life that it's like the Rubik's Cube. When
Mm-hmm.
everything is lined up the way it's supposed to, miracles happen. And I'm gonna say it like I said, I'm very pictionary and visionary. So when I see this thing that lined up, when I started really paying attention to saying yes to the right things and knocking away all of this foolishness and all of this andriness and them voices in my head that was telling me I would never, this ain't gonna work. It's only one person watching you and it's only two people and you and your daughter don't even get along. So how you gonna raise somebody kids and all these things. And as you can see, this how I'm gonna do it with my fat self, right? Because everything lined up. Me and my daughter's relationship, me and my ex-husband friendship, me and my all of the things lined up when I just latched onto forgiveness and let go of all of the hurt, the pain, the shame, the guilt, and all of that trauma. And it's not easy. It's work. It's not easy. It's every day I wake up, something telling me not to go to the gym. Something telling me, oh, girl, please, what you going to do that for? Or you ain't going to be married. You already messed that one up and you lost this one. And all of the negative self-talk that we have. And I've learned to replace those things. And people ain't always comfortable when you can walk in your truth. They don't know how to walk in theirs. They get mad at you because they're not free. So when I say I'm beautiful, I'm every woman. I'm an activist. I'm an advocate. I'm this. I don't have to just be a pastor, Jackie. I don't have to be just a wife. I don't have to be just a mother. I don't have to be just an evangelist. I don't have to be just a coach. I can be everything that I'm designed to be. I can be every woman that I need to be to create what God wants me to be. He created me to be a creator. So I'm a mini creator. And when you think about that, you don't have to just sit in your title, your one title, and stay there. I am an evangelist. I am a coach. I am a pastor. I am a friend. No, I'm a friend. I'm an aunt. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a best friend. You know, I got all these titles. But guess what? I'm every woman, and I'm a Black woman, and I'm proud of it. That doesn't mean I hate any other nationality. I'm just proud of my history. So I just want to end on that. I am very proud to be a Black woman. I'm a woman that know how to forgive quickly because I got a lot to do. And I do not have time to hold on to no trash and no garbage because I can't take it with me. So whatever I did towards anybody, please forgive me. But I bet you won't hear that a lot, because if I did it, then you got to come talk to me, because I won't even know what we mad about. I'm like you, Jackie. I don't even know what's all the beef about.
Right.
But I'm excited that God is using me, because the enemy used me for so long that right now what God is doing ain't got none. The enemy ain't got nothing on that.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So this has been phenomenal. I mean, and I knew it was going to be Patricia and I. We met one time thus far in person. It was like I've been knowing her forever. You know.
Yeah.
So, but this was real cool. I really enjoyed it. And I think everybody, got a lot out of it. You know what I mean? Got a lot out of what Coach
Forgive.
P had to say.
Forgive. Children, forgive your parents. We're still learning. Parents, forgive your children. They're still growing. Husband and wives, forgive each other. Make up. We don't have a lot of time. And if nothing else showed us the last Sunday before last, when Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and the horrific thing that happened, time is winding down. People are dying every day of opioid use. People are falling apart. People are committing suicide. The happiness that you see here on Facebook, half of it ain't real. I'm telling you now, please. All I could tell you is that we need you. God needs you. And guess what? I just want to meet you. So let's just try to pull this thing together. And I hope to, I have a request thing on People with Vision. You get a 30-minute free consultation. All you got to do is inbox me. You could go on Reigniting the Vision. You can go on People with Vision. Whichever one you go on, you can request me. Go on the link. Just ask me a question. We make a date and time. If you want to talk for that 30 minutes and never talk to me again, it's perfectly fine with me. If you want your children to talk, my daughter is excellent at talking to other people's children about some pain. One thing my daughter told me that changed my whole life, Jackie, and I'm going to finish with this. She said, Ma, when you got yourself together, you forgot about me. I want everybody tonight to remember, while you're getting yourself together, don't forget about your children, your marriage, your friends. It's called balance. And just don't forget about yourself, but don't get selfish about yourself neither. Right. So balance that out. And when she said that, I felt that. Because when I got clean, Jackie, I worked 3 jobs. I ain't have time for nothing but work, and I wanted to do better, but I didn't even realize I had left my daughter way behind. I had left her to the streets, to the gangs, and to a whole lot of stuff because I was so busy trying to stay clean. And she had her own story. But I thank God for this platform and for all that we have talked about tonight. I know it was a lot to unpack, but that's just Coach P. She got a whole lot that's going on.
So, Coach P, tell us. I know you're on Facebook. So, what are you, or what's your handles on like Facebook? You're on Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I believe it's the Reigniting Coach on IG, but you can still find me through all my one page on Facebook. I have all the links under About Me. And information. My LinkedIn information is Pastor Coach P. I think it's Pastor P Coach P. My other pages is Reigniting the Vision. And then I'm also linked to the foundation pages, which is the Jonathan Fleming Foundation, for anybody that you know that is wrongfully convicted, going through a conviction, anything got to do with being reformed. And then also his personal page, which I also manage that page as well. Is Jonathan Fleming. I manage that page as well.
Okay.
We're building up the momentum because that book is going to be hot.
It's gonna be
And it's
hot.
called
Okay.
24/7. He did 24 years and 7 months
Wow.
for a murder he did not commit.
Mm.
And all he has to say is, I was a lot of things, but I was not a murderer. So, in saying that, you know, in New York, we the boosters, we the thieves, we this, we that, but that don't mean we murdered nobody. Now,
Right.
don't pick me up for no that body ain't mine. Murder is not the case that they can give me. You can give me a whole lot of cases, but murder ain't
Say
one.
that body ain't mine.
Yeah, that body ain't mine. So you'll be able to see all of that in his book and his story, and that book will be coming out in April.
Okay. Well, give me your Instagram again.
My Instagram is, I want to say, Trish Inspires You. Yes. Trish, Trish, Inspire, Inspire, and just the letter U.
Okay. Trish Inspire You. Okay.
Inspire.
Trish. Oh, okay. Because it should come up. TrishinspireSu. Oh.
And the letter U, capital U, I believe.
Okay. I don't know. It didn't come up. Okay. But they can get to it from your Facebook page.
Yes.
The link.
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think we're connected on Instagram.
I follow you on Instagram.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe. All right. Okay. I'm gonna double check and make sure that I follow you. But thank you so much, and this was so much fun.
Yes, ma'am.
I look forward to us meeting again in person. That should be soon. But thank you so much for coming on the show. Soon. Yep, very soon.
And don't forget the Afrocentric for the I Am a Black Woman is coming up in Atlanta. And I believe the date has changed, but it will be on, I know, all of our pages, because the Capodium's president, manager, CEO, Dr. Carolyn Stevens, will be having it. So I will be making sure it's on our page. If you are in the Atlanta area, please, please, please support her down there. I will be traveling some of those days, so I won't be able to make it. But as soon as I can get to the ATL, I will be down there. And Jackie, as soon as I can get in your neighborhood, I will be there too.
Yeah, come on over. I'll lay the light on for you. I can't wait to get back down to Atlanta. I wanted to try to make it to Houston too, but you know,
we had a ball. We had a ball.
Yeah, did.
Darshell and them are wonderful hosts. They are wonderful hosts. Yes, they are.
That. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks again, and everyone, thank you for joining us again. This is A Queen's Roundtable Show, which happens every second and fourth Sunday of the month, and it's typically at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring on a different entrepreneur. And I'm Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. I am your host for A Queen's Roundtable Show. If you're interested in being a guest on the show, reach out, let me know. Okay. And also too, you can find all of the shows on my podcast, A Queen's Roundtable Show podcast, as well as on YouTube. The links are in the description as well. All right. So thank you, Miss Patricia, Coach P. And I will be talking with you again soon, okay? Take care of yourself.
Yes, thank you. Take some self-care. I am.
I will. All right. Everyone, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.